Good morning, I'm Victoria Norgard with your September 2nd Morning Pulse. Starting off the day, the Nebraska State Fair wrapped up yesterday, and officials are pointing to the volunteers that helped make this year's event a success. The volunteers have a variety of jobs, including giving information, directing traffic, and checking people in. Volunteer coordinator Haley Roush says this was a good year for the State Fair, and they had several volunteers come back who have been a part of it since the event opened in Grand Island 15 years ago. Overall, officials say there were around 700 volunteers available for this year's Nebraska State Fair. And in health news, it's a burden that keeps growing, and more Americans are living with Alzheimer's now than ever before, 7 million plus, and there's no sign of a slowdown. But researchers are now warning of one thing that could be the difference maker for any of us. Lead has negative consequences on our health. New research is finding those effects aren't just physical. The Alzheimer's Association is finding exposure to lead can lead to a risk of cognitive decline. Now the association is focusing on educating older Americans about the dangers of lead exposure.
Reducing your risk of exposure to lead, and if you have been exposed, to make sure you bring that up with your doctor so you can set baseline cognitive tests.
Some of the warning signs to look for in someone you know are memory differences, changes in regular behavior, or talking less. Another focus of the association's the link between our heart and our brain. Research shows healthy lifestyles that help one can help the other. And the Nebraska State Patrol will begin a statewide campaign to promote safe travel for Husker football home games this fall. The campaign will include troopers from around the state assisting with delivering a game ball to Memorial Stadium ahead of Saturday's game against Akron. More details about this year's efforts by NSP will be released at a press conference in Omaha this morning.
And the Medical Cannabis Commission.
And medical guidelines are also being decided for legal marijuana today. Nebraska's Medical Cannabis Commission plans to lay out regulations following last year's election. A few things listed on the agenda include an update to the state inventory tracking system, updates on connections with other states, and rule updates and discussion on the rulemaking process. Today's meeting is at 1 p.m. at the Nebraska State Office Building in Lincoln. And this morning, the Powerball keeps on climbing after a winning ticket was not sold ahead of last night's drawing. That means the jackpot is now up to $1.3 billion ahead of Wednesday night's drawing, and that number could climb more before then. While the largest prize went unclaimed, at least 2 tickets sold in Montana and North Carolina won $2 million, according to the Multi-State Lottery Association. Rounding out with your 7-day forecast, looks like it's going to be a pretty good week leading into those fall-like temperatures, starting out with a little bit warmer temperatures in those 80s and then going down into those low 70s and mid 70s. It looks like it's going to be a great day to maybe even go to the Husker game on Saturday. Thanks again for joining us for the Morning Pulse. I hope you had a great Labor Day.